Hey, everybody. Hey, how's it going? Long time no see, everybody. How's everybody doing? Happy Fatterday. How's everybody doing? I'm waving at people as they wave at me. So my past Powerzilla, good name, or Pauzella. My past fun with this has been put in the chat here where you're watching this, what locale. It's always fun to see if people are around or if they're far away. So tell me where you're coming from. I'm up on the Pacific Northwest on the Olympic Peninsula, up near Port Angeles, Port Townsend. No worries, Joey. This will be saved so you can go back and look at it. I know it's no more live. It's not as fun, but, there'll be lots to see then. It is the iconic Big Belly Man. That's me, the Big Belly Man. And as always, we have food to eat while we chat and chew the fat. This is the Taco Time. Very popular place up here, so I guess this shows a better Taco Time. It's a little more heartfelt than the old Taco Bell, but it's all good. So we have burrito, this big burrito, and we have a bowl with extra chicken and extra vegetables and all that stuff. So where's everybody calling in from? Where's everybody watching for this? I've heard of Taco Time, but never had it. Well, you're missing something. Taco Time is amazing. It's really good. They have a really good shrimp taco they make. It's got almost like a ranch dressing on it. It's super good. And I am a frequent patron of theirs, for sure. Somebody's out in DC. Germany. Welcome to my German friends. It's always cool to see people from other countries and things. Yes, massive stomach. We'll be giving you a little show of it in a little bit. You'll be patient. This is more about us talking and chatting and not just about the big thing in the room or the big things in the room. Illinois. Eugen Meyer. Hey, long time no see, man. I haven't talked to you in ages. Good to see you here. Hey, everybody. Bigger's Better's in Argentina. Excellent. Hi from Seattle. Oh, hey. I'm waving at you over the ways. The fun part is Seattle's only 43 miles or about 50 miles away. It takes 3 hours to get there. So lots of going down and around things. It's not a crow's fly kind of situation. So yeah. Oh no, this shirt can't even button up. It's not one that buttons. I just like the color of it, so I always like to wear it, and it shows off my qualities. Hello, Los Angeles. Hello, Brazil. Good to see you. Hugeness, yes. And today I went and I bought a new hat, which I think you may like. May the forest be with you. It's very much of my new Pacific Northwest mantra. So, can I yodel with you? Probably. Yodel-hee-hoo. Oh, gaming legend. Why, thank you. I've just been in it a long time. What size shirt? Oh, I think this must be a 3 or 4XL, something like that. I can check, but it's a good size. And I'm still wearing my suspenders, which I always like. Keep my big pants up. Look at those things, man. It has been quite a winter. I did not expect to move to a colder climate, and I'm an eater. I eat a lot, but I do it on a timed schedule. And this winter, I've been hungry. I've been ravenous, and it helped me put on some good hibernation sizes. So, all right, I'm gonna start eating some here so we can get this belly filled up a little bit. But So I moved and happy and ready to. This taco will make your belly fatter. Oh, it will. I've already had about 6 meals today. I just had a big panini that they make over at the local market while you get your groceries. So I ate that. It was roast beef with blue cheese, onions, and spinach. Really good. And then I got this on the way home, and I said, oh, you know what? Today's a good day. Let's have a little chat. So here we are. Can you see my foot? It's going to be difficult at the moment, but send me a private DM and I'll share some foot picture with you. If you like. Oh my gosh. How many people to wave that? Hi, whoops. Don't do that. Hello. Hello to you. Hello to you. It's probably been asked plenty of times, but how are you these days? Still growing? Yeah. So, I moved up here about a year ago from the Bay Area, SF Gut Muscle, the SF being San Francisco. Now I'm saying the SF stands for super fat gut muscle. That's how we're going to parse that out now. Super fat gut muscle, SF gut muscle. Moved up here. I bought some land nearby. I'm building a house with very wide doors, all flat. Yes, it can support my weight. That's been taken care of. But in the summer, during my move, I drove my own truck and all this stuff. And then in the summer, I had a lot of work to do on land. So I actually lost a bit of weight. But then I started to be able... Do I live near the water now? Yeah, seagulls. That and the crows. But then in the fall, when I wasn't doing as much and it was getting colder, I was able to put the weight back on. But then, as it got cold in November, a new appetite kicked in. And I had never been this kind of like... I eat enough that I'm always filling, but I'm never hungry. I was hungry now. Like, I was ravenous, and man, did it make a difference. And then Feaster came, Easter Feaster, and for the last 2 weeks, and I've definitely put on some soft bulk, so it's been good, man. So we are fattening up once again. I have a feeling my new kind of pattern is going to be I'll probably lose a little bit of weight in the summer and then gain it back for the winter and then some, because I just have tons of stuff to do in the summer, and I'm just not home all the time eating. So, thank you. Oh yeah, just enjoying this is really good. Corn and cabbage and chicken and beans and some sour cream in here and some guac and let's have a burrito to go, so don't worry, we'll get some in there. This is just a mid-meal snack. I have something I cooked earlier that I'll be having about 2 hours after this, so I don't have any weight goals. I just have bigger as my thing. Being up here, I do like it. I love it up here. This was one of the best things I've ever done in my life. There's a small town here. It's a farm town. But we have tons of amenities. There's a Home Depot. There's a Walmart. There's a Safeway. There's a QFC, which is a Kroger outlet. So two shopping, two food stores, local little food places. There's a Walgreens and a Rite Aid, a Costco. So there's tons of stuff, but they're all one side of town. The other side of town is very small, kind of more old-fashioned. So it's really nice, and I'm about 5 minutes from a port over here on the water. There's another one on the top, so I'm kind of if you look at Washington, I'm on the western side, right around Port Townsend, Port Angeles on a map. And, it's just great. I love it. Yeah, I need to cook. What's my favorite thing about the new area? The amount of nature I'm around. I'm constantly around trees, and I see cows every day because I go by pastures, and I just love that kind of more small town kind of vibe. really like it. I get to know a lot of people. A lot of people know me now. I've only been here a year, but I'll go into restaurants and things. They're like, hey, how's it going? So they know me. I mean, how could they not? I'm probably propping up their entire business with my appetite. Well, beautiful, tasty. Yeah, super tasty, man. Really good. Flavorful. Lots of veggies in it, which I really like. There's cabbage, and chicken, all sorts of shit. Black beans. I'm not on Facebook. I have a Facebook account just so nobody else takes it, but I don't post anything there. I like Instagram better, actually, because I'm more about putting my photos out and then chatting about it. Well, and I'm not on Twitter. It just doesn't seem like a platform that works for me. I like more posting a picture and talking about. My zodiac sign is a Capricorn. So, big old fat ram. What's some of your go-to foods lately? As I've always said, I eat pretty clean. So, I tend to eat like whole wheat bread, sweet potatoes, whole wheat pasta, brown rice, quinoa, amaranth, bulgur. But I eat like chicken. I tend to do less beef. It just doesn't. I tend to save that for when I go out, like getting hamburgers and stuff. So I tend to do like chicken. I do pork tenderloins a lot. I do ground turkey. Yeah, lots of stuff like that. And I do a lot of what I call army cooking. So because I eat so much and I don't want to miss a meal, I kind of schedule it, try and do about every 2 hours, every 3 hours. I just make big trays of food, and then I can go in and just scoop some out. So scoop out some meat, scoop out some vegetables. So I like roast a bunch of vegetables. So I got a scoop, put a little sauce on it. I'll put like a carb with it. So it's either rice or pasta or some potatoes in there, and then just eat that. And that way I can get the meals in, because if I had to cook like 8 or 9 times a day, you can't do that. It's not easy to do, and then you're going to miss your meals. So people always say, oh, you must have hungry all the time. And I'm like, I'm not hungry, because I eat so often. Like, I get up in the morning and I have something within 10 minutes of getting up, because I already have it in the fridge. I usually have like yogurt, or I make quick oats, or I even do overnight oats, but I make like 3-4 portions of it. So I started off that way, like at 7 a.m., and then by 9 I'm having my next meal by 11, so just all throughout the day. So yeah, it's really regimental, but I cook a lot of different types of food. People always say, oh, could you eat 5 pizzas? I physically could eat 5 pizzas, but I get taste burnout. I don't like things too salty, too oily, even like chocolate. Like if I have like a lot of like really dense, like chocolate rich, my taste buds just get burned out. It's not that I don't have room for something else. I usually have a lot of room, but I just get flavor burnout. So I have to kind of make it interesting to me. So that's why I tend to like, if I go on a big food binge, I'll start with one type of restaurant, like a Taco Time. So I'll have like a Mexican, then I'll go get like a burger, then I'll go get like a milkshake, then I'll go and find a place that does a salad with a lot of meat, and then I'll find a place that's Chinese. So I just vary those tastes throughout the day, and it really helps. Can I give you a good message? Yes, you can give me a good message. Yep. No, it's a really good schedule. And the thing is, you just have to make sure. Everybody always says, oh, how do you gain? It's like, you have to put consistent calories in your body to overload it, so it will store it as fat. It's easy as that. But to get those calories in, just add more meals. If you're eating 3 meals a day, add 1 in between breakfast and lunch, 1 between lunch and dinner. Now you're ready to go. And you don't have to have massive meals, but those extra calories consistently, day after day, week after week, month after month, they will put size on you, because your body doesn't burn that many calories. You gotta hydrate too. And I do unsweetened iced tea. I never do soda. Too many chemicals, too much sugar, all that shit. And that's why I'm not diabetic. I don't have heart disease. Like, I don't have any of those problems right now. No high blood pressure. So, how much burger can you eat in one lunch maximum? I mean, if I tried like hamburgers, I could probably do 7 or 8 hamburgers. Like when I was going to a good buffet that has a lot of variety, I would do like 8 plates. I mean, I'm stuffed, but I get a lot of different things, I don't like things that are too salty. I don't like things that are overly spicy. I like spice, but I don't like, hot. But yeah, it's got to be, like, I can't do a lot of fried stuff all at once, because after a while it just starts to taste all the same, and I get bored. Variety is the spice of life. That's what I say. Ever have a feeder? Oh yeah, I've been doing this for about 22 years, and I've had guys feed me. Um, it's okay to have guys feed me, but I tend to like to eat myself. I love a guy to encourage me, to prep the food, to bring me the food, rub my belly while I'm eating the food. That I kind of like. While hand feeding, it doesn't do as much for me anymore. Because also it takes a long time to feed me. And honestly, sometimes the guy gets in the way. Although the one trick I do love, and I'm saying that I started this, is taking rice pudding and putting it in a Ziploc bag, like a 2-pound thing of rice pudding, put it in a Ziploc bag, snip off the corner, and then just like pipe it into your mouth. I love a guy doing that to me. Pop. Let me ask a big question. Let's see. Another question. We are a few Bay Area restaurants that you recommend for any of us to try out. Bay Area. Now, do you mean San Francisco or do you mean East Bay? I lived in the East Bay. That was my kind of place to go. I can definitely give you some recommendations for the East Bay. Indian. I love that. What a nice deal. Thank you. Expansive. The space between my belly button and the bottom of my belly has really increased. I mean, I'll stand up once I'm done with this before I do the burrito and show you, but that's been the biggest change, really. So, I'm not sure what my actual weight is because I have to go to a doctor. I don't have a scale that goes that high. And I'm really not that interested in the numbers. I just want to be bigger. So I've always thought, I'll be 400, no, 450, no, 500. I just kept hitting those goals and going past them. So the number isn't as important to me as clothes don't fit anymore. I don't walk the same. That's what I like about it. So the numbers aren't really that big of a deal. But when I weighed in during the summer when I got my first doctor's appointment in like July, I was about, I want to say like 584, something like that. That's because I lost a good deal. During the pandemic, I got them to like 612, which was really big for me. Now, I've had a body composition done. I have 285 pounds of muscle on my body. A lot of that's come from as I've continued to gain over the years. I always do some lifting of weights. And because there's all that extra food there, it just helps build the muscle. So I still have a big muscle base to me, which is what a lot of my physical weight is on a scale. So, the rest of it's blubber on top of it. So that makes a big difference that you have that because muscle is much heavier than fat. So it can give you a denser kind of look. I don't have any knee issues. I don't have any foot issues. I mean, if I stand in one place too long without moving, my feet get a little tired, but I don't have any knee issues right now. So, again, I've been really aware of walking correctly, making sure that I don't misstep to pull anything with my knee. I've always let my body pull me up, so I make my legs do the work to get myself up as I've gotten bigger and bigger. So my legs have been strong, and I don't walk really hard on my feet. I tend to take it pretty easy, so that's really helped, I think. Yes, I will show my belly off when we're done eating. How's that? Oh, boy. I'm trying to sit forward. Not easy to do with this much belly. Oh, I'm waving back at people. Hey, everybody. Hi. I'm waving home. You want it up? Pick the pose. Oh, I wake it up. Now, no knee issues, no back issues either. But again, I do back exercises. I try and curl my spine as much as I can and just kind of bend over a little bit to stretch it out, but I'll just try to also keep it so I can lift my body with that. Oh, I've had nobody come visit me here since I moved. There's a few guys that are nearby that I may kind of hook up with eventually, but we'll see. A good friend of mine who I have visited, it's Whidbey Island Bull. You've probably seen him in some of my pictures, and he lives about 2.5 hours away. So I've gotten together with him, but we just go out and get lots of food in our bellies. So we kind of create a little feeding frenzy for ourselves. So, but I think he's a really nice guy. So, we just had Feaster together, my version of Easter for feeding, and man, we had tons of food. I brought a ham. I had lemon chicken. We had shrimp and asparagus risotto. There were potatoes. There were green bean casserole. And there was spaghetti squash. I mean, so much stuff. And then desserts. So we really got packed. You've seen the pictures. And also, I've posted a lot of pictures on my Patreon. So if you're interested, my Patreon has a lot of material on it. You can sign up there and check it out. But, you know, you can do that if you want. But there's always more content there. But do that if you can afford it and if you want to do that. But I'll always post some pictures out here so you don't have to do that. But they're getting a lot of good videos. So, all right. We're done with that bowl. Oh boy. On to the burrito. Just go to the dinner with you. On me, with your friend. Oh, yeah? How big is Woodby Island Bull's got? Woodby Island Bull has a really big ball belt because he's really muscled. And he still works out like crazy. So he's got a really big muscle gut on him. But yeah, he's a big boy. He's thick. Well, he's got that ball belly. I'm way past that. My ball belly's buried in lots more fat. So you can only do a certain size, and then that ball belly goes into the blubber belly. So, but still not bad. Bean burrito. Hoping to build a lot of gas later so I get really bloated. I'll post pictures. I into photo shoots purely so often. I go. Yeah, could be into photo shoots. What's next after the burrito? Do you have a relationship with Woodby Island Bull? We have a friendship. Not like lovers. I had talked to him for years. And when I moved up here, I was like, oh shit, you're right across the way. So we visit each other. I'll go over to him. He'll come over to me every couple of weeks. We chat a lot too, so we are belly brothers now. What's my fashion sense like? Oh, I'm very much like jeans, t-shirt, flannel shirts. Kind of like big old country boy kind of wear. That kind of thing. I'm not the biggest guy in my town. I'm pretty big. I mean, one of the fattest guys in my town. I'm pretty close to it, but there's some big boys out there. And some of them are just these hulking guys, because up here, like, there's a lot of people who do well drilling, and they work in sawmills, and they just do a lot of construction. Like, they're just big fucking brutes of a guy. Home Depot's kind of like a porn place. It's like these big sweaty guys kind of busting out their shirts. So I've got some nice bellies on too, but big boys. What's the biggest misconception about me? Oh, bigger is best, aren't you cute? The biggest misconception about me? I don't know. I think, well, I mean, that I'm a celebrity. I mean, in the circles that we all are in, I may be known, but there's no, like, celebrity status. Like, this is, like, I'm sitting out on my patio, like, in the backyard, like here's how the celebrity's living. Ooh, it's so glamorous here, right? Like, these are my new obsession, my bird feeders. But yeah, it's not. This ain't no palace, so we're not. Ooh, building up some good gas there. I mean, also maybe that people think I'm really gruff and really mean, and I mean, when people watch these things, they're always like, "Oh, you seem like a really nice guy. You seem really chill." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not like a mean old thing." I think I'm just a little under 600, somewhere in there. Because I gained a bit back, and I can tell this is kind of the size I felt like I was when I was 600 during the pandemic. So, What's something you've always wanted to try? Okay, what do you mean by that? Do you mean sexually? Do you mean food-wise? Do you mean just in general? Like a bucket list kind of thing? You tell me. How does someone meet a big guy like me? Well, somebody wants to meet a big guy or be with a big guy. You have the confidence. You have to have the confidence to be good being seen with a fat guy in public. Being comfortable around him. A lot of guys aren't. And also find a guy that's comfortable with his size, because some big guys are being, they put themselves down as chubs, super chubs, even gainers, because they've kind of realized that they can't lose weight. They don't feel like they can ever, be small or whatever. So they feel like they're stuck with their body that way. So they identify themselves that way, but they're not comfortable with it. And if you go out with a guy like that and you get into his belly, a lot of times he'll be uncomfortable with it. So you need to establish that you're somebody who loves the belly on a guy, and you want to play with his belly, and you want to be, around his belly in that way. And he has to be okay with it, because there's a lot of guys that aren't uncomfortable with it. They're just presenting themselves as that way to meet people, but they don't realize that they're going to have to enjoy being belly played with him. I'm definitely one of those people. So, do you have any more drawings? I have lots of drawings. I put a bunch here. I posted a bunch on Gromer. But I can post more. Are you pretty close to Seattle? Yeah, I'm about 3 hours from Seattle. And it's only 3 hours because there's all these bays and ferries you have to take. But yeah, I'm about 2 hours from the Tacoma airport. Down the way. Do I let my belly hang out as much as possible? Lately, the growth of my belly has been the bottom's gotten softer, so a lot of my shirts now, the belly just hangs out the bottom, and many times I don't really give a shit about it. I kind of let it go on. What's the craziest thing someone's asked you to do sexually? As a muscular guy who likes bigger men and bellies, they're speaking the truth, harsh reality sometimes. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah. And do you work out? Yeah. I still work out about 2 to 3 times a week. I do really big body exercises. So I'll bench, I'll do shoulder presses, I'll do some leg presses, as much as I can do with machines. Aren't usually easy for me because the belly gets in the way, but I'll do kind of free weight kind of stuff. But yeah, I still work out. I don't do really super duper heavy stuff. I do it just till I feel like I've given myself a good pump. But I'm not in the gym for a long time, about half an hour, because for me it's not about building tons of muscle, it's just about keeping my muscle, and that's enough for me. Because also just hauling my body around, my body gets a workout. And I do a lot of stuff too, like almost every day I'll do stretching, and I'll do a lot of wall exercises, which like I'll lean against a wall and kind of push myself off of the wall, and I'll kind of stretch. It just keeps you flexible, and when you get to be a big guy, you have to do that. Any people public who compliment your size? Oh yeah, I get a lot of compliments. See, I get a lot of compliments on my size because I carry myself as a confident big man. And when you go out in the world and you say, hey, I'm this big guy, that's it. People interface with you that way. Oh, he's comfortable, he's cool with his size, he likes his size. I'll be positive about his size too. So if I'll say like, hey, you need to get a bigger chair because this big body ain't gonna fit, they're like, oh dude, I get it. Yeah, no, you're good for your size, So that really frees people up. The more confident you are about your size and you show it off, the more people will be confident and react to you in a positive way. I've always said that's one of those things. I'm a force to be reckoned with. I have a queen size bed, but there's always room for somebody to tuck underneath me in that bed. Look at that. Cheese and bean burrito. That's going to give me. We finally do a live, and we have questions. Questions and questions? Yes. Hey, everybody. Hey, we'll stand up when we're done with food. Hello. Let's see what else. Jealous of that amazing burrito. You want to be eating and get in my belly? You got some war boys out there? How's the progress on my property? Very slow. I moved up here when I bought a piece of property. It's only 1.2 acres, about 10 minutes outside town, deep in the woods. We'll have live streams there someday. But it took us 8 months to get a well drilled. because I need a well and a septic put there. It's a blank piece of property. It took 8 months to get a well drilled, and now we're trying to get a guy to do the septic. The first guy said he would do it in the spring, and then he told us, "Oh no, I can't do it till September now." We were like, "Fuck, this is not going the way you want it to." So we just got another guy, but I have to go on Tuesday and meet him on the property and talk to him about we need to trench some water and power to the site where the house will be built, and then he has to talk to me about where he's going to put the septic. He'll probably need to take down some trees, so we have to figure all that out. Fun times. But meanwhile, we're developing the house. We're doing a lot of designing on it. I'm picking out a lot of furniture, a lot of colors, what the floor is going to be. Everything's super wide doors. Everything's super flat, so I could get in and out easily. So no big stairs. I find most of my clothes online, and some have been really odd places to find them. Some t-shirt companies have made some really big stuff, and then some are always like, "Oh, we fit every size," and they go up to like 4XL. Like, come on, it's not every size. But what have you learned from gaining that you feel like you apply to your everyday life and art practice? I feel what I've learned from gaining is don't be afraid to explore things that interest you, and don't be afraid to push yourself, because it's the only way you know if you like something. It's the only way you know if it's the right thing for you. I love the idea of being bigger. I liked getting bigger. The bigger I got, the more I liked it. But I always had to tell myself, like, go for it, push for you. The other thing about gaining in particular, and I think most things in life, if you go in one direction, you don't have to keep going in that direction. If you don't like it, if it doesn't feel right, you can go the other direction. You can change. The key is to make steps forward. You always got to be walking forward. You can change the direction of where you walk forward, but you don't just stand still. You stand still and you stagnate, you get nowhere. And your life just passes you by because, time is the only thing that you can't control. And it will go by whether you like it or not. So you have to make the best of it. All right, are we ready for some wisdom? I saw a really good thing on YouTube or one of those, and is the food disgusting? Oh, digesting well. Yes, it's starting to get a nice sound to it. But I've had about 6 meals today, so let's see, it's starting to get nice and firm. Boink, boink, boink. Do you ever get ill or sick? I mean, I get sick. I'll get a cold here and there, but I've not been major sick. I didn't get COVID because I stayed. Were you big, younger? I was not big, younger. I was 165 pounds. I have pictures posted. I'll post some more. If you saw the Throwback Thursday I posted, you'll see I was a little scrawny guy. All through college, I worked out and I tried to put on size, and I never got anywhere. And one of the reasons I started gaining was after college, I went to New York City to live, and I made the friends of a trainer at this one gym I was going to. And he commented that I had really good form, because I was always really about, like, make sure your body's locked and that, you have your shoulders back and, you have your body positioned right to do the workout. And he said, "Oh, you've got really good form," he was noticing. And I said, "Oh, thanks." I said, I'm just one of those people that I just don't seem to gain any weight. My pants are digging into my belly. And I'd love to put on more size. And he said, you probably need to bulk up and cut like they used to do in the old days. He said, you just need to put more calories into your body than your body burns. Here comes the whole scenario that I've described many times, so whoever's heard it, sit back. And he said, you can't build a statue out of a smaller stone. And you don't know how many calories your body needs to build that muscle, but you do know that your body has been nourished enough that it's done everything it had to, even building muscle, if you put on body fat. Because that means, hey, we've taken all the calories we need, now there's extra. So we're going to store that as fat. So if you're gaining body fat week after week after week, if your weight's going up week after week after week, and you see body fat, like you're not as defined as you used to be, and you start to get a little chubby, that means your body's storing fat, which means it's taken all that food and energy and put it into everything you had to do, especially muscle. So you'll be putting on weight, but part of it is muscle, part of it is fat. When you get 20, 30 pounds heavier, suddenly you now have a whole bunch more muscle. So if you start to work out and cut back on your calories, you have more aerobic activity that can happen with those muscles. You can burn the fat faster and you can get back down, but you'll be heavier, you'll have more muscle, and then you just stair step that. So that's always what the bodybuilders did. They bulk, they cut, they bulk, they cut. I bulked, put on 30 pounds, really liked it, said I was close to 200 because I started at 160, got to 190. I said, 200's right there, let me try to hit 200. Once I got to 200, I said, let me go over 200. And I just liked the size and the thickness. And if you see the pictures that I have posted in the past, I was just getting thicker and bigger, and the belly was starting to show. But once I got around 280, 290, the belly really started to show. And that's when I was like, oh, I got to hit 300. And I just started to bulk. And man, that big belly just turned me on so much. I was like, yeah, I just want to keep bulking. So I kept working out, but I was definitely on the gaining thing of seeing how big I could get. And here we are, many decades and hundreds of pounds later, literally. Yeah, I was talking earlier that I had a body analysis done, and I have 285 pounds of muscle. So, I forget what the percentage of fat was and all that stuff, but... I've looked up to you for years. Well, thank you. You can share a name of a music if you want. Yeah, 20-year bulk. So much for cutting. Truly approach the part where the bears are series. Oh God, no, because I don't think people consider me a bear as much as they do that I'm just a gainer or a chub. So, I don't tend to swim too much into a lot of these communities too much. I tend to do my own thing. So, I'm done with that. Yeah, just DM me the link. Just send it to me on the regular thing and I'll see it. Enjoying watching me eat? Thank you. Okay, so wait. Alright, you ready for this? I thought this was really a good thing. So, everybody think now. Would you take from me $500 million? Would you take $500 million from me? If I could give you $500 million today, would you take it? Most people would take it, right? Now, if I give you $500 million right now, but today's your last day, tomorrow you're dead. Tomorrow you're dead. You get $500 million today. Would you take that $500 million to have it today, but you'd be dead tomorrow? Probably not, right? So what you're saying is, today is worth $500 million to you. So tomorrow is worth $500 million to you. So a day is worth $500 million to you. Are you treating it like it's worth $500 million? So every day you get up, you should be having a $500 million day. You should be having a day that's worthy of saying, I wouldn't trade this for $500 million. So just look at your life and think every day, you put a price on those days, so you should spend them really well. And, you don't have to do amazing things every day, but you have to appreciate them because they're worth a lot to you, right? I think that's a really interesting way to think about it. I've always had the opinion when people ask me, how am I? I say I woke up this morning. And you know what? That's enough because some people didn't wake up this morning. And then some people couldn't get out of bed. They couldn't walk. They couldn't talk. They couldn't feed themselves. And so there are very basic things that you have sometimes that you really need to just stop and say, it's pretty good actually. And the rest of it, it's manageable usually. It's a little, not so black and white, but it's still the idea, right? You have to appreciate what you have because it's what you get, You get the opportunity every day to change your life. So go out there and make the best of it. Make big goals. Yeah, gratitude. Is that what people do? I don't know. All right. Let's get up and show you this belly. First I have to unplug the power. I wanted to make sure that I didn't have a, we're going to get a burp here. When I shifted, I could feel it. Here it comes. Get ready for your burp. Of course, now that I've talked about it, I've scared it away. Burps and farts are like that. You say, like, oh, here comes one. And the minute you announce it, it's like, oh, I'm not going to. Like, they're cool little bitches. Burps, they are. That's not the full burp. I could have done better. When I stand up, I'll try and button my shirt for you. We'll see. All right. beautiful it is here. All right, you ready? You ready? You all ready for this? Oh, what are we doing? Got a little fat pad out there, right? A little fat pad. That's a lot of fat pad. Try to button it. Ooh, that was a good burp. That one was really good. How's that for a big boy? Look at these tits. Look at this. This is what's really changed. Look at all that. Look at all that. I mean, there's some significant. This is what I mean by I've gotten bigger and blubbier. So look at that. There's me here and there. I can't reach. That's all right. Pretty good, huh? So there you go. Ooh, it's chilly out. I couldn't do this because my pants would fall down. I know you'd like that, but. Big boy, huh? I gotta put the shirt back on. It's too chilly out here to be without it. Sorry. Show's over. Go home. Underbelly getting soft and blubbery. Yes, it is. Pretty good. Ooh, there we go. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, yeah. That's a big old fucking belly. I'm glad you like a big belly because you found one right here. What's the most you've eaten? Oh my God. So I've had days where I just ate nonstop. During the pandemic, it was like I was just home and there was nothing else to do. And, you know, if it's the end of the world, fuck. So I got really, there's a lot of big stuff. But, you know, you could instruct where your next 100 pounds go on your body. Where would you want them to go? I want my tits big. I want my tits really big. I love having my tits nursed down now. They feel like fucking udders, but I want them to be big and round. And still want the belly big. I would love my ass to get bigger too. My ass kind of is a little flat. I would love my ass to be just big and round too. So, yeah, those would be the places. My belly a little bit, but my belly's pretty big already. He's already had his time. Yeah, he's a huge belly. You're right, it is. Let's get a little lower shot for you. How's that? Right? That's some big daddy belly right there. And I don't see that fat pad under there somewhere. The jeans are hiding. That's huge. That's a steak, right? But see, it hides itself. So when I really sit up, it just hangs right out. So, whew. How does it change from muscle gaining to fat gaining? It's pretty satisfying because you can gain fat quicker than you can muscle. So, although you're still adding muscle, you get a lot more results pretty quick. So, you know, when I used to work and I used to commute and stuff, I would only gain about 30 pounds a year because you just couldn't eat that much because you'd go to the office and you can't be shit. The problem is when you eat a ton of food, you shit a lot too, like 3 or 4 times a day. So if you're in an office, you can't be going to the bathroom 3 or 4 times a day. It just isn't maintainable. And sometimes, you know, you can't clean yourself up as easily. So you want to be home for that kind of stuff. So during the pandemic, I put on almost 55 pounds in a year. for 2 years. I gained like 120 pounds over the 2.5 years of the pandemic, lockdown kind of stuff, because I was just home all the time. And then when I moved, I lost some of it because I wasn't able to kind of keep up with it. But yeah, that's when you got that ability to be eating all the time and have a bathroom nearby. That's all you need to do, man. You can just go and did I ever, baby? Did I ever? Are you gonna have a shower seat installed? Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a bench installed. Sure. Yeah, and it's a walk-in shower, no curb on it, so I can just walk right in. You could put a wheelchair in there if you needed to. Yeah, and I will have a bathtub, but it's going to be a big, deep soaking tub. It's going to be right next to the shower too, so it's all in one area. So, but yeah, that is it, man. I respond to never reactions. Fuck them. I mean, why do I care? Like, I'm too fat for you. Like, but there's lots of other guys that find me attractive. The key is I find me attractive. I like my body this way. I love how big my tits are. I love how big my belly is. Like, that turns me on. If it turns you on, that's a great mix. But anybody who isn't turned on by it, so I like chocolate ice cream, you don't. Fuck off. Like, I don't give a shit. But you really have to get into that mindset where you realize, like, I pay my own bills. I make my own way. My life is my life. And I feel like I'm doing this and enjoying it. And I go to my doctor, and he understands I like being big, and he looks at the medical charts and says, you don't have diabetes, you don't have heart disease, you're medically okay, so just keep that in check. So, yeah, it's been pretty good so far. Do you have a community of people up there? I have a community of people up here. Like, there's a lot of older gay guys, like in their 60s and 70s. I have dinner with them every other week, and there's a couple of guys in town that I know that are gay, and like I was saying, Woodby Island Bull and I are good buds. So yeah, there's a bunch of people, and there's people on the apps that I talk to and chat here and there. Some of them are a little skittish. They're not as easy to get a hold of, and there's lots of guys in Seattle and Victoria, but they're 3 hours away, so that's a commitment to come, and do that. And I tend to be a kind of person that wants to meet somebody first, because I don't like to just have intimate relations with somebody right away. I like to get to know them a little bit. I want to know that we'll be able to talk and hang out a little bit. I don't want it just to be like bam, bam. Like, so you got to kind of, get to know me a little bit. So, if you want to come visit me, you got to come visit the town and the area and kind of stay in a hotel and, make it a weekend thing. And then we'll have a meal or coffee and hang out a little bit. But, if things don't work out, I don't want it to be like, oh, this is going to be terrible. So, yeah, I tend to be a little bit more of a let's meet first and then go from there. So, yeah, Rodney's a sweetheart. I mean, Rodney's a really tough fucking man, and he'll sit and crush you, man. Yeah. He's a really great guy. He's very nice. How close is Vancouver? Vancouver is probably about 2 hours away. Like, Victoria is right across the way, so it's about 20 minutes over to Port Townsend, or Port Angeles. Port Angeles ferry is about 90 minutes up. And then Victoria's probably another half hour up the way, maybe more than that. Yeah, it might be 3 hours up to Victoria as well. Or, I'm sorry, to Vancouver. I'll do it someday, but I got to make it like a long weekend. I got to make it a journey that I can do, because it's a little bit of a trek, but I'd love to come up there sometime. I hear it's beautiful. Thank you. I'm glad you like my big body. Oh, I like it too. Where are you living now? No, I don't live in San Francisco anymore. I moved up to Washington State, and I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I'm west of Seattle, over on the Olympic Peninsula. I live near Port Townsend, Port Angeles. In that area, small town, and I love it. How do you see your change with size difference? Being bigger means I just have to be careful with when I walk. I have to make sure that I plant my feet well so I don't twist an ankle, because that's a lot of weight to put on an ankle. I don't bend over for things quickly, because it's an easy way to pull your back when you have a lot of weight you have to move. I don't turn quickly like that. That's a good way to wrench your back as well. When I sit on furniture, I do it gently. You don't plop down into a chair, because you don't know how much it can hold. You can put yourself down into a very delicate chair, but if you plop into it, you use twice the force of what your weight is, and that will just... I have just crushed chairs. I know you all want me to show you that, right? And it's not easy to do. You have to have somebody to catch you, because otherwise you can really fall and hurt yourself. But yeah, you have to just make accommodations like that, and you have to find clothes that fit you, and be okay with not having the fanciest clothes out there, because they don't really make clothes that fit fat people well. Yeah, there's certain things that encumber me. I have to move slower. I get a little more tuckered out on certain things, but part of that is the excitement for me. I really like that. I don't fit into places as easily, and that, but, I love having the ability to, grab on this big belly. Just jiggle it and feel it when it's nice and full. Love that, man. It's the best. I just wrecked my back, and I can tell you. Tell my weight is missing with my legs. Yeah, I'm sure. Can you fly? I can fly. What I do is I book two seats, and I don't fly that often. So and it's still cheaper than flying first class. And first class isn't as good for me because in a first class seat, a lot of times they put up they give you a lot more room in the front, so they put a barrier up to hold the tray table thing. But that barrier is so stiff and hard that I can't wedge into it. I did when I was traveling for work, I went to Germany, and I got like an upper, almost like a business class seat type thing. It wasn't first class, but it was business class. And that's exactly what happened is the seat divider there was so hard that it made it uncomfortable for me to sit. So I really didn't have more room. I had less room. I was more comfortable on the way over when I just had a regular class seat because I sit in the aisle. You can usually lift the arm up on the aisle, and I can sit over into it. And if you pick your seats right, sometimes there won't be a person next to you, or if you buy that seat, you lift that arm up, you can spread out. That's the best way to do it. So coach is really the answer. I don't find first class comfortable at all. A lot of times they kind of mold the seats to hold you, but they're not made to hold a really big guy. So, do you get asked to play Santa at Christmas? I had been asked to play Santa a few times. I'm too fat for the Santa suits. I'm too big for a Santa suit. So when people put a pillow in, I'm bigger than that. So I need to get my own custom Santa suit if I was going to do that. What's your weight goal? Bigger. Honestly, I'm probably getting, if I gain another 50 pounds, it would be okay. But after that, I'm going to need a partner because I'm getting to that point where once I get to be that big, like if I get near 700 pounds, I can't do the laundry easily. I can't lift things easily. I can't bend over very easily, so I can't really clean, a shower or the floors. Like, it's not easy for me to do stuff like that at that size. So I'd have to have a partner that would help me and help me navigate some of that. And then I could see myself getting pretty big as long as there was somebody there to kind of help take care of some of those things. But and I've talked to a few people that really love that idea, but are they willing to move to where I am now, or we'll see. That's always the question. But yeah, I love it. I like the encumbrances of being big. That's one of my things about it. You have to be willing to enjoy it. If you don't, it's going to show to other people, and that's when people start to attack you because they realize you have a weakness. If they don't see your weight as your weakness, you see the strength, they see the strength, they're not going to touch it. They're not going to fuck with you because you're going to fuck with me? No, you're not going to fuck with me. Right. And again, I don't care. Fuck you. Like, I don't care. At 6'4", yeah. Yeah, 6'4" is hard because of your knees and stuff. Oh, I'm not just looking massive, baby. I am massive. I'm a big boy. And happily there. So, good times. So, yeah. You have a partner? I thought, no, I don't have a partner. I haven't had a partner for years. Nope, no partner here. I am single and ready to mingle. Like Kris Kringle. Let's see, what else gonna... Yeah, we gotta not care. Jiggles out. Yeah, I mean, you just can't care what other people think. At the end of the day, who are you trying to impress? I mean, I think younger people get caught up into it because it's like you have to establish your identity, but your identity, I mean, if you live at home and you live with someone, they pay your rent or your bills, or they kind of take care of part of your life, like, it's hard for you not to have, them control some of what you do and how you look and how you act and all that shit. But once you're out of that, I mean, it's your body, it's your life, and what I did, because I was working out and training a lot, and they knew I was muscle and all that, but then as they started seeing me get big, they were concerned, and I said, no, I'm just bulking up and this and that. And then I finally just started saying, like, I like the bulk, I like my size, I like how I am, I'm seeing a doctor, and they think it's okay, so this is good. And they started just leaving me alone because they realized it wasn't something I was going to change. So, but I didn't live with my family, I didn't live really near my family, and now I live very far from my family. I see them once or twice a year, and they don't have much to say. I mean, they can't really, Oh, well, I'm glad I'm your dream guy. I'm your dream guy. It's a Dreamgirls reference. Show tune queen. Guilty. But the good show tunes. Not all them show tunes. Thank you. Yeah, baby. Good times, huh? Good times. A lot of people don't assume any weight gain is undesired. Well, you know, honestly, I think when you see a lot of straight guys that are with women and they're big, I think it's that same thing. I mean, anybody will tell you if they've even gained 20 or 30 pounds, it feels primal. It feels masculine. It feels powerful. So I think when you see a guy with a belly out there, I think he's feeling that, and probably the person he's with is feeling it, but they're bucking society a little ways. So I think I've come to think that the problem is, and I've talked to a lot of guys about this, oh, I'd gain, but I'm worried that I would just be immobile. Your body, you got to push yourself. I'm pushing myself a lot to be this size, a lot. Like, I really push myself to eat a lot all the time, to be and maintain the size and to get bigger. It's not easy. Everyone should be able to tell you that. Yes, if you kind of fuck around with you go on a binge and you eat all the time and you're partying, yeah, you'll gain some weight. But at a certain point, your body's going to stop because it will reach a certain satiety, and it will be like, yes, this is the amount of calories it takes for this body to be this way. But if you're not pushing yourself to eat like that, you won't get bigger. So I think if most guys relaxed into just, I'll have the beer and the pizza and all that, they would gain like 50 to 60 pounds. Yeah, they'd get big, but it would stop at a certain point. They'd plateau, and they'd stay at that weight. So I think if everyone realized that happens, they would be okay with gaining weight because they'd level off to a certain point. But I think most people feel like, oh my God, I couldn't stop it. It'd be out of control. What would I do? So I gotta constantly work out and train so I won't get fat. But do you think you're just not gonna, like, and again, if you're eating fairly healthy and you watch your diet and you talk to your doctor and stuff, you just eat a lot of what you do, you want to get to a certain size and just be able to maintain it. I think that's what a lot of people are worried about. They're worried like they'll just get fat and it won't end. But that's not the case. Like, I've had to push myself to get this big. And I think the people that you see that get really big, they're emotional eaters. And there's a big difference between a gainer and an emotional eater. An emotional eater does not understand why they're gaining weight, why they're eating so much. They're doing it to fill a need, to fill a hole. It's a psychological thing. And if that's you, you should see a therapist, because you shouldn't eat to make yourself feel better. You should eat because you want to be the person you want to be and you're comfortable with it. Feeling good and being good are very important to this. So there's a difference there. And I think a lot of guys, when you see them, they are eating to fill a need because it's a habit, because it's like smoking. It's like any of those kind of bad habits. But yeah, you can't do that. That's what's going to get you really big and really unhealthy. And, but if you're doing it mindfully and you're enjoying it, that's different, right? That's different. A lot of people, I think, sometimes do that to make themselves, quote unquote, unlikable, and that way they don't have to interface with people. Well, people don't like me because I'm fat. No, you think they won't like you because you think your personality isn't desirable, and so you're making yourself fat to distract from that. That's not a thing. Go see a therapist. But if you're a big guy, you'll like being big, and everyone should understand you that way. That's very different. So yeah, self-control is a huge part of it, but you have to have that. My voice is so calming, so should I do that AMSR thing, like, hi, welcome. Do you want to eat more? Do you want to get big? Do you want to be a big fat guy? Big swollen belly, overfed, fattened. Like me, do you get blood tests every year? Yes, I get blood tests every year, and I have my cholesterol checked twice a year, and my sugar tested, and I take my blood pressure every couple of days to chart it, and it's all been pretty good. It's but I stay active. I eat the right kind of foods. I don't do a lot of simple carbs, but you can still gain weight. It's the calories that go in, not the kind of calories. You don't have to have the high sugar and stuff. It may take a little more work to get the food into you because they're more complex, but they'll be better for you, and you will still gain weight on that. Living proof. Right here. You definitely do well with the voice. Oh, well, I try and lower into my tone, but I can get pretty high pitched and squealy if you get me excited. if you get me excited, and that's basically you bring a pie over or some chicken wings. So, oh, yes, that documentary has been quite a pillar for the community to start off of, but it's one of the reasons I did it. because I told the guy that I was not going to make a sexual or an alluring kind of thing. I wanted to talk about what I had experienced, what I thought, and what I thought could help other people. And it originally was supposed to be 5 or 6 guys, and it wound up just being me. And and I hear lots and lots of people on a daily basis will send me a note and say, hey, I saw that and it really helped me understand that it was okay and I wasn't the only person and all that stuff. So that hard fat video has been a big thing. People ask if I would do a new one, and I'm like, well, I think I'm doing it. I think this is it. I think we're doing the live version. We're doing the series version of Hard Fat 2, because this is basically what I would say to people. I mean, I could mark it down in one little kind of video, but I'm not sure I need to when I'm doing this, right? Like, love to meet a Canadian like you. Do you mean that I have to convert, I have to get new citizenship? Or you want to meet somebody like me in Canada, so you have to find that person? You were my inspiration to this day, saying, again, my dream guy. Aw, thanks. Do you date younger guys? Yeah, I date younger guys. But I date younger guys that have something to say. They have interests. They have a life. They know who they are. I meet a lot of guys, and we have these chats. Hi. How are you? Good. How big are you today? It goes nowhere, because if you really want to get to know me, you need to ask questions about what's going on in my life, and you need to tell me about what's going on in your life. You know, if you say you're doing nothing, and then I say, well, what are you actually doing? Watching TV. The answer should have been, I'm watching The Last of Us on HBO and I really like it. Have you seen it? Like, that's a conversation, right? You're offering some information, and then I will respond to that information. But so many guys, I have to pull conversations out with them. So I find a lot of younger guys, and I think it's because of the way the online community is very easy to Snapchat it back and forth. They just don't know how to start a conversation. So, be interesting. Be informative about who you are and what you're doing. One guy, I said, how was your summer? He goes, okay. What'd you do? Not much. Really? You're taking like 3 or 4 months and saying nothing fucking happened? I'm not sure I want to hang out with a person like that. That is so fucking boring. Sorry. You should be able to do something, I went to a bird fest they were having at the Audubon place near me, this place where they have all this wildlife, and they have this converted railroad bridge, and I sat down and I drew for a little while, and there was a woman there, and we started talking about what it's like to live in these areas, what she likes about birds and all this kind of stuff, and I told her about me building a house, and then I went to the market and I bought a bunch of stuff, and I got some cardamom ice cream, which I can't wait to try later today. And then I got my panini there with the roast beef and the blue cheese, and then I stopped at Taco Time afterwards to get that bowl and the burrito that I just packed into this belly. So, yeah, that's what I did today. Do you tell people that kind of content? You should. Because if someone says, how are you? You should at least spice a little bit of that in there so they can say, oh, really? I love roast beef. Oh, really? How did they make that sandwich? Oh, you like birds? What's the bird situation in your town? Like, tell me more about Taco Time. I don't know anything about that. That's how conversations start. But a lot of people don't know how to do that. So it's an art, and you need to learn it, because that is how you will also find somebody to date, because you'll be able to tell them who you are. Otherwise, you just give them nothing and they move on. Can we see some stuff you've done? Cardamom cookies are good. I love cardamom. It's one of my favorite things to put into coffee, and also I love tea with cardamom, like black tea with cardamom in it. So good. Bird fest. Oh, like the outdoors? Yeah, like birds, birds. I've become a bird watcher. Some have visited around, and I put a bird feeder out, and now I have like 4 bird feeders, but like all these different birds come, and a goldfinch came the other day. I'd never seen one so bright and golden, as the name implies, but oh my God. So yeah, it was pretty amazing. But they had it down at the railroad bridge here that goes across the Dungeness River, where all your Dungeness crabs come from. I live where the Dungeness crab comes from. Yes. So if you have a Dungeness crab, it's been near me. They sit over here. And they're like, hi, I'm a Dungeness crab. Good times. Any bear cuisines you miss? Indian. There's no Indian up here, really. I really like Indian food. That was pretty damn good. We have Chinese here. We have Mexican here. We have Italian. We don't really have Korean. Like, Korean barbecue was always pretty good. I used to go to a place called Bold, Bowld. Really good. There's a couple of them in the East Bay. Really good food. Really good big sizzling rice bowls. Oh, yeah. Indian desserts have tons of cardamom in them, yeah. For work, I went to Dubai many years ago I wasn't as big as I am. And they had cardamom milk. It was in bottles, and you pour it in your coffee in the morning. Oh my God, it was so good. Wonderful today. So, oh, thank you, Mean Queen. You should put in a hummingbird feeder. Wait. You think I should put in a hummingbird feeder? Yeah. Hummingbirds come to this all the time. Yeah. I have a hummingbird feeder, and that whole tree is full of them. There's a whole bunch there. Big man. I always wonder if the birds think I'm going to come and eat them. So my pants are falling down. Whoop. What? Oh my God, he's naked outdoors. Oh, here's a view for you. On top of this. Pull my drawers. Boy, that's why I love Mexican food, man. Those beans get a good blood going in here. Them burps is good. Oh yeah, I love hummingbirds. This one comes all the time. Comes in right here. And boy, they are territorial. Hummingbirds territorial. One at a time of that feeder. If one other comes around, the other one fucking chases it away. That's the thing I love about birds. They're so different and so interesting. And like, I put out there's a thing called bark butter, and it's kind of like peanut butter. And you spread it on these little things that have holes in them, or you can spread them directly on bark, hence bark butter. And the birds will come and pick at it because they like the fat, and it's good calories for them because, they kind of keep warm in the winter. But they poke at it, and they get it on their beaks, and then they'll go to another tree and they'll wipe their beaks off. I hadn't seen that before. They wipe their beaks off because they got all this oily peanut buttery stuff on them. Who knew that happened? Pretty awesome. But yeah, I've started to see the different variations in birds, and I started to learn that there's house finches I get. Then there's also starlings that have started to show up, and I can actually see the different birds. So got some binoculars, so it's fun. And when I move up to my property, there'll be a whole slew of other birds. Because down here I have crows. Up there's ravens. The fucking ravens. They scream and they are loud. I can hear them deep in the woods. They nosedive like motherfuckers. Yeah. Well, the nice thing is if you get a hummingbird feeder like this that has a little perch, instead of them just going to those ones that have little flowers and they hover, they sit. And then you get to see them because they kind of rest for a little while. They take a load off. They're like, oh, I don't have to fly. And then you really get to see a hummingbird. Pretty amazing. I was pretty happy. But yeah, so I've gotten into looking at birds. It's pretty fun. And I can do it while I snack. I can sit here and eat with while I watch them. Although I wonder if you watch them too much, if any of the birds, will get a restraining order. Like, he was watching me. He's always watching me. What's wrong with him? I don't know if the European starlings are invasive. I'll have to check and see. Ravens are really noisy and cackle, and ravens are bigger than crows. Crows are big, but ravens are really big. I think ravens tend to be... I don't want to say that they're in the woods more. I just know they are here, but that may not be a thing. You like me, big man? Good, you should. Yeah, but they've been here since the 1700s. Yeah, I don't know. They're around. I try not to feed them. No, not the starlings. I try not to feed the crows because I feel like they're big bullies. They can get their shit anyway. But the starlings, I've only seen 2 starlings around, and they're a bigger bird. But the thing is, a lot of there's a place, maybe you have them near you if you're in the U.S., called Wild Birds Unlimited, and they sell a lot of different feeders. But the feeders, if you have a small enough and a short enough little post, only the smaller birds can get into that. The bigger birds can't get their bodies on that little post and near the feeders, so they can't actually take part of it. And shockingly, I have no squirrels in this yard because a couple of a street over, there's a farm. I live near farmland, and there's cows and stuff, but I can't smell it, luckily. But I think there's enough just kind of grain and shit that drops around, and there's enough forest stuff that the squirrels are like, why would I come to your stupid backyard where there's only grass and 2 fruit trees, and they don't really give me a lot of squirrel food. So they haven't discovered my feeders for sure, and I just have not seen any squirrels in the year I've been here. Not one squirrel. I've had 3 deer in my backyard. One came over and sat underneath the tree for 6 hours. I was just like, oh my God, I'm watching this thing. And again, I'm fenced in on 3 sides, so they walked in the little alleyway, and I'm on a side street. I'm not in the middle, up against the woods. So I'm like, why are they here? But they may have come at some time and known it was safe, but it's pretty amazing. So, what's wrong with my straw? you look like you work on farm. Yeah, I blend in really well up here. I really do. I am very thick. I've been gaining this winter, and let me tell you, there's a lot more SF gut muscle than there was before. I live in a wooded lot. We squirrels city here. Yeah, I think the squirrels are little cities. Stop talking about this, please. Stop talking about what? Birds? You know, this is my channel, and if you don't like what I'm talking about, you can move along, right? You don't need to be here. Stop talking about this. I respectfully say fuck off. That's how that goes. But anyway, Everett Paul, if you want to see my foot, DM me. I'll send you pictures of my foot later. I think that's a little bit of a niche group that, for the amount of work it would be to get my foot into a camera, it's probably better to wait on that one. Yeah, I agree. Let's keep talking about birds and how amazing they are, and how I want them to come bring me food and feed it to my mouth. Not like a mama bird thing, but animals and birds are hot. Well, when I move up to my place, we'll have a lot of chance to talk, because up there they've seen bears, and they've seen coyotes, and they've seen bobcats. So it'll be pretty interesting when I live up in the middle of the woods. That'll be really cool. I'm really looking forward to it. I've always loved it when guys visibly get excited when they talk about the things they like. I know, right? Dogs and birds, yeah. Well, you know, it's interesting to see the patterns of animals. And God, that you suddenly know that there's like hundreds of different species of birds. Like, oh yeah, it's a house finch. Well, there's like 30 different kinds of finches. Like, what? So bizarre. And supposedly they're all descendants from dinosaurs, so I just want to put the Jurassic Park theme on and watch the bird. Like, na, 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 na. It's very exciting. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, the rural air is so different. Especially I live near the coast. I'll do some lives from some of the ports over here, but there's just these beautiful little ports with these trees, and it's just so beautiful up here. I always say I say I live in a postcard. Let me see if I can actually. I don't know if you can see it, but let's see if you can see the mountains from where I am at the moment. Oh yeah, big man walking. Yeah, you can kind of see it. I don't know. Yeah, you can see it. So that's some of the low Olympic mountains over there, but there's snow on some of them sometimes. But yeah, but this yard is all just fenced in. That's it. So, you know, it does the job. Nice patio for a belly. So yeah, but yeah, I love it up here. Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh, for somebody who just asked about my art, if you're at all interested, I can show you what I was working on today. Oh yeah, I like overcast weather and stuff because you can cuddle, right? Like, that's one of the reasons I moved up here. Big guy, I do not like it when it is friggin' hot out. I get too fucking stressed. I get so sweaty, man. Yeah, it's overcast a little bit, and there's a place nearby. The sunsets are amazing up here, so I went on a little walk out to a place called Madison Falls. So I kind of drew that. There's a burp for you too. This is my drawing of Madison Falls, and this is my drawing of the Salt Creek. And then there's one I have to still color in. And then today, I was overlooking at the birds at this nature center, and I just decided to draw some of the habitat that was there. The idea of trying to get some things in focus in the front and have the background be a little more washed out. So that was kind of my little thing from today. So yeah, that's sometimes the kind of shit that I draw. And I don't know if I have my small one with me. I always try and carry these little notebooks to do art in. Oh yeah. So this one, like just some little sketches of people just to get some shapes down. And again, some like trees and stuff. These are older ones. Let's see if there's anything good in here. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, and this was me trying to make a caricature of myself. So I was starting to do it, and this is kind of what I sometimes use as a caricature myself. I usually make it a little fatter than this, but I was trying to decide how I would come up with what I looked like a high headline. Like this one, I think is pretty good. I've used that before in my thing. It seemed like I love to play with the color and stuff. There were some ants around, I guess, that day, kind of testing out colors. But these little books, this is a Moleskine book, but, you know, testing colors, see if you can go from a dark to a light. It's kind of very big watercolor exercises. Can you blend things? Can you blend things? This I pretty like. This is when I used to live in Emeryville. This is a drawing of the shore near me. So I was kind of doing that, trying to do it like a little two-page spread. See, all this fat doesn't go to just fat. It's there's some talent that feeds my. That's the fat. The fat is the fuel of my talent. Oh, and then I got into doing Zentangling, which is kind of a meditative sketching thing. So these are some of the patterns that you can do, and you just start making lines and filling them in. And I love this kind of stuff. It's just very relaxing to do, and you can make some really complicated little things. But it's just nice because they're so repetitive, and you're just making patterns. You're not trying to represent anything, and it's just very meditative. Make circles and circles and things, and color them. Here's like little stones. That one's called it in Zeppel, which I really like. And then I was trying to, just do some landscapes that were very soft and watery and washy. What else is in here? More trees. More trees. Starting to plan some of my house stuff, how a hallway would look. Kind of where some of the things would be if we had skylights. Lots of shit. Yeah, that's it. This is my drawing of a polar bear on a snowy day. But yeah, I do a lot of that stuff, take a lot of notes, do a lot of planning. This is a book that I'm doing a lot of my planning for my house. So I've done things like talk about like what my island's going to look like, what the house will look like, where the rocks are going to be. Talking about how it could be put on foundations, what some of the cabinetry would look like, what the rafters would look like if we're going to use them, how they'd be offset by the parts of the walls that are there. What else? See, you thought you were just going to come for belly talk, and look what you got. You got more than belly talk. I always think it's a good idea to like write things down. Like, here's some questions. Like if I made an island and if I put a hole in it, where would I put the holes? What would my solutions be for the holes? Then I decide against the holes. How would the walls look against so there's a big rock where I'm going to be, and there's the house, and there's a little 6-foot by 11-foot thing that goes out to a big deck. So what would I do on the corners of the deck? Where would I put seating and kind of planters? All that kind of shit. See? Fascinating, right? See? Then this was how I'll do a front gate. If I had to pull a gate, I had to pull my car in and then over and then into a kind of a carport area, and then how the gates would slide out, how I'd park. So, yeah, it's always good to plan things. That's what paper's good for. But anyway, I am not an architect, but I do love architecture, and I like architectural drawing. I do visual design, so it's kind of close to that. But a very modern, clean look for my house. Very cool. So, am I seriously dreamy? Oh my God, I'm dreamy. Oh my God. You guys are the best. Most big hot guys are real multi-dimensional people. We got so much room. Where else are you going to put all this creativity? How are you fitting the car? Oh, well, I went from a Kia Soul to a Subaru Forester. It's a bigger car inside, so I made accommodations for Bentley with my car. Yay! It's all good and interesting. Yeah, I think so. Do I have kids? I do not have kids. I've never been married. Never intend to be married to a woman, at least. Would I have kids if I had a partner that I could share that responsibility with? Though I hardly know anyone who can take care of themselves, including me. So I'm not sure I'm ready to bring children into this. I'm not sure. I think that time has passed. I'll help my friends raise their kids and be nice to children, but I don't think I got too much going on here. This is my baby. These are my babies. Oh my God, like twins? Maybe triplets? Would you model for an art class? Oh yeah, I'd love to model for an art class. Because they should learn how to draw big fat guys, My only problem is I'd probably get hard during it, showing off my belly. And there, nice to see it. Oh, and the fat pad peeking out. Pikachu. Look at you, Pikachu. Look at that thing, man. Look at it. It's a thick friggin' slab. But enough about my underbelly. It's cold. It's getting cold. Ugh, I'm sharing so much today. I feel like a big old belly slut. And you love it. You love it. Like I said before, if you want to see more of the underbelly and all those things, that Patreon site is loaded with shit. Just a little plug for it. You don't have to, but, most people think it's worth it. Plus, you get a Discord thing where you can chat with me, we can share pictures, we can have BFFs. I'm like, no. That's for life. How does the straw isn't long enough everywhere? What What other country would you like to travel to? Oh, there's lots of countries I would like to travel to. I've been to a few. I was lucky when I worked for Oracle, which was a big, software company. I got to go around and do some interviews with customers and talk to them about design and things. So I've been to Australia. I've been to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So I've been to the Middle East. I've been to Amsterdam. I've been to Switzerland. I've been to the UK. London mostly, outside of London. I've been to Stonehenge. Where else have I been? Yeah, I'd love to visit. I've been to Germany a few times too with my current job, Munich and Berlin. I like that a lot. I'd love to visit Poland because I've got family that came from Poland, which I think would be interesting to see. I mean, Europe's really interesting, the architecture. I'd love to go to South America. I've never been to South America. I've been down to Mexico on a really cheap Carnival cruise, but cruises these days, you just get COVID. Still, people I know are going and getting COVID, so that's not good for now. But yeah, I'd love to go to South America and experience that. I'd like to see a lot of Africa. But yeah, I would travel. But right now, I'm focusing on just staying up here and building a house. That's my thing. Germany does know how to treat a big man as far as food, but they're not used to big guys that much because I stayed in some boutique hotels and they had an elevator that was like for 3 people. I filled that fucking thing. And then the room I had to change because it was so small, like I couldn't get into the bathroom. And then when I went from the company paying for it and me paying for it, I asked for an accessible room. Then I had a walk-in shower. Like, it was massive. So that was what Fat Daddy needed. So I usually try and do that anyway. But a belly jiggle like this. Like this. Look at how much everything jiggles. Like, everything jiggles. Look at how big those things are. Damn. Who needs milk for their coffee? Let's see. Looking at advice, 150 pounds, 5'10". Been the same weight for 10 years. Would love to hear. Yeah, if you're looking to gain weight, figure out how many meals are you having. If you're having the standard 3 meals a day, you need to have 5 meals a day. You need to put a meal in between breakfast and lunch and dinner, and they need to be a good amount of calories, but you need to stuff yourself. And you don't need to stuff yourself at every meal. I find that if I stuff myself at one major meal, my body doesn't know how to deal with it. It processes it through fast. I tend to have more of a diarrhea kind of bowel movement the next day, and my body hasn't absorbed all that stuff, plus I'm tired, and I don't want to eat more that day. So that's not really the best way to do it. The best way to do it is increase your caloric intake by a significant amount by adding more meals. That could be 6 meals a day. Just eat every 3 hours, but you have to pre-plan that shit. You have to make a real good gainer tip is go get a loaf of cinnamon raisin bread, bananas, and peanut butter. You take 2 slices of raisin bread. Each slice of raisin bread is 190 calories. A slice, okay? So that's 2 slices of that. A banana is about 100 calories. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is about 190 calories, okay? Put that all in a sandwich. You're around 500-600 calories to that. Drink it with 2 cups of milk. Whole milk, 150 calories a cup of milk. That's 300 calories in the milk. You're almost to 1,000 calories, okay? Have that for one of your meals. Then on the second meal, get nuts, get dried fruit, buy yourself some frozen dinners. I mean, plan something. Chicken, rice, whatever, but plan it and have it ready to go and eat that. And if it's a work thing, make sure you eat before you get to work. Make sure you have a big lunch. Make sure you eat when you leave work. So when you go out the door, you've either packed something that you'll eat outside of work because you can't eat at work sometimes, or get something on the way home, and then you're going to have dinner later. And then before dinner, and then before bed, you're going to have a snack like a bowl of cereal, 2 cups of milk, and like 2 portions of cereal. That will get you gaining weight. You have to have, and you have to do it every day, every week, every month. You can't just do it for a day or 2 and think you're going to gain weight. That's not going to work. Believe me, I've tried, and I've also coached other guys, and it has not worked for them when they gorge themselves and do all this other bullshit. But most people do not put in the effort to plan it, and like a bodybuilder, you have to plan how you build your body, and it's about calories going in. It's easy. Can I burp, please? I burped before. Can you hide objects? Oh, God, yes. I can hide objects under my belly. You want to see the magic trick? Dun, 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 dun. It's super fun. Here's a fork. Now you see it? Now you don't. There is no fork. Where's the fork? You don't even see it here, do you? Where's that fork? Oh, it's way under there. There's the fork now. Let's see. Here's my small notebook. Where's the small notebook? Oh, there it is. It's underneath there. The hummingbird is around. just buzzed us. The hummingbird just buzzed us. Oh boy. Hummingbird sighting? Oh my God, on a live stream? Could you imagine? Oh my God. There you go. If you want to talk about a plan and have me help you keep you on a plan, you contact me and we'll talk. But most of the guys that I have done that with, 85% of them, they can't do it. They flake out. They do it for a week and then they never talk to me for a month or two. So if you really want to try it, we can do it. But you're going to have to impress me because most guys, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Have you ever thought of writing a book? Yeah, maybe. Doing a movie. Doing my life story. My life as a super chop. Gainer extraordinaire. So big, it's true. Oof. Ooh, there's your burp. What do you prefer to use, watercolors or oil or acrylic? Watercolors. I say watercolors because watercolor can have its own little nature about it. So you can put watercolor down and put a little color into a puddle of water, and it will dry with deeper parts and darker parts. So the watercolor wants to do its own thing, and that's kind of magical. So it's kind of fun to work in watercolor that way. Another one which is interesting, which is gouache, and gouache is basically thick watercolor, opaque watercolor. And that's kind of nice too because you can get some of those really thick, chalky, flat kind of illustrator quality things, but you can also soften the lines up. So that's kind of fun. I've been working with that a little bit, but yeah, watercolor is my preferred. I like to do pen, and then I like to do watercolor on top of it. That's my preferred. To handle digestion issues, sauerkraut, pickles to normalize, get microbiome. Oh yeah, and anything with like, yogurt and all that stuff for digestion, yeah. But when you actually pack your belly so full of food like that, it's not an issue of your gut biome. It's an issue of your body knows that it can't process anything until you get all that stuff out. So it takes a long time for you to get that to go. And it just doesn't work the way you think it will. I'm going to try this and see. Let me see if I can flip it around. If I can flip it around, can I zoom in now? I probably can't, can I? Well, I can. Do you see that goldfinch there? See that bright yellow bird? That's a goldfinch. Look at how bright that is. In nature, there are some colors that are amazing. That's something. That's a goldfinch right there. He's so cute. See? The little things you see. Your little friends that visit. And they don't judge you. They don't ask for money. They just want to be... they're the ultimate gainers, right? I'm just feeding them all the time. They just come around to be fed, and I feed them, man. I give them food. I stuff it down their little bills and watch them get big and bloated. Okay, all right. What pens do you prefer and use? I really like Copic markers. The Copic marker people, they make a silver pen that's got a replaceable ink cartridge. I like those. Those look convenient, huh? Those look like this. They're called multi-liners. And a lot of them, like I think this is a 0.5 that has a nice little tip on it, right? That's what I use a lot. But then I also use this thing that's a carbon, it's called a carbon ink pen. So the company that makes the carbon ink makes this pen. They make little cartridges for it, but you can also get refillable cartridges. This is a fountain pen, but it works really well. That's what I did the drawing with the other day, or today. It's really nice. And these are waterproof inks, so when you put the watercolor over them, they don't run. And then I tend to use water brushes, these little plastic water brushes. They are just good for laying down color when I'm doing stuff that's portable, so I can just get around. And then I use a lot of these jelly roll pens to do white on top of it, or I use Posca pens. Posca pens are really cool. They do like big flat kind of swashes and stuff. But yeah, there's your art chat. You got bird chat, you got art chat, you got gainer chat. What more could you ask, Talk about your multi-layers, kids. Talk about your multi-layers. I'm waving at people, I'm waving at people, I'm waving at people. Well, my hands are starting to get a little cold, which means I should go in and probably make a big thing of coffee that I can suck down into my big belly and have it with some cookies or something. Daddy needs a feed. Feed me. Feedman500, you send me a message in Instagram and I will give you many, many more tips on my art stuff and we can chat about it. I'll send you some of my artwork, all that shit. Play with my belly button, please. All right, I'm a sucker for helping. It's very deep. It's gotten deeper. A couple knuckles in there. Yeah, baby. I've noticed too, like this, a new thing with my belly is this cleft is starting to develop here. It's starting to give this little separation thing. So there's like a little cleft in here of this big old belly. So, do you have any health issues? No, I don't have any health issues. Except for being devastatingly handsome. Oh wait, I'm full of shit. That's the other health issue I have. I've been diagnosed as being full of shit. Oh, I'm just a man like any other man, common man. If anybody didn't see it before, this is my new hat. May the forest be with you. Star Wars and forest. What a great combo, huh? Oh, well, thanks for hanging out with me too, guys. I'm happy that this was a nice way to reconnect, and I'll do a few more of these from maybe some local parks. I'll get some food and chit chat and all that. But yeah, I'm glad to see you. When you started gaining, how did you deal with people that are concerned about your weight? When I first started gaining, I told people that I was bulking up to do muscle. Then I told them I liked the bulk. I told them I was seeing a doctor. I was eating healthy. I was just eating a lot to keep myself big, and that you shouldn't be concerned. I'm seeing a doctor, and they're giving me, everything's fine. But I like being a bigger person. I like having this size. That's just how it is. And if I'm healthy and I'm watching what I eat, but I'm just eating a lot of it, so I stay big, if you're younger, it's harder to do because the more your family feel like you don't know what you're doing. The older you get and the more you're confident about it and you're doing your own thing, it tends to not be as big of an issue. And at a certain point, you don't give a shit, and you surround yourself with the people who love you big and will be fine with how you make your choices. So that's the key, right? Anyway, we will see you all soon. Thanks for tuning in. And, if you want to see more pictures of me, look through all the past photos I've done here. There's lots and lots of stuff I put out here. I've got pictures on Gromer. You will probably love my TikTok content. If you didn't know I did TikTok, I haven't done one recently, but all my old TikTok stuff is still up. There's some real fun stuff there. I love to do a lot of belly play things there and little jokey humor things there. There's videos on YouTube as well, short little videos. And then if you want the penultimate, be all end of all, my Patreon site. And, there's 3 tiers, $6, $8, $10. And if you take the $10 one, you get everything. And that's also, there's some specific fun videos. And there's fat pad stuff. There's no, open sex stuff. But I show off a lot of belly, a lot of chub, a lot of gaining stuff there. And also I have a Discord server set up through that so we can chat there and share more pictures, and you can talk to other fat guys that are really, really interested in gaining and being part of a community, not like the Gromer stuff where it's just thirst traps. So it's a nice place to be, and try it for $10 a month. You might like it. People seem to be happy with it, but no pressure. You do what you'd want to do. I just offer it as a extra special way to experience my journey of gaining and blowing up. So all right, you everyone. Oh, I see I have rave reviews there. My Patreon is amazing, yes. And I make a lot of content. I'm not one of those people who does I'll post once every month. Like that's not how that works. You want to see what I'm doing, I want to share it with you. You're paying good money, and damn it, I'm going to do a good job at that. So I try and post like twice a week, if not more. A lot of lens features. So many things, but yeah. But anyway, we'll do more of these and just hang out and chit-chat and chew the fat, as it were. Chew that fat. Chew it. Come on, get your face in there. Come on, buddy. Chew the fat in there. All right. Thanks anyway, guys. I really appreciate you taking your time to come and visit with me, and it's good to see you all. And yeah, we'll have more updates next time. Maybe we'll see more birds. Maybe I'll have part of a house built. Who knows? The world is my oyster. Oysters. Maybe I'll have oysters now. All right, guys. Thanks again, and it was good to see you all. Thanks for chit-chatting. Thanks for any questions. It's always fun to interact. And by all means, DM me, and we can chat. I'm open to being talkative with people if they want to chat about stuff. Always fun. So take care from the Pacific Northwest. Have a great Saturday. A great Saturday. And I hope you get all the big things in your life that you're trying for. I know I have. All right. Have a good one, guys. Good night. Oh, look. I'm going to try and push out with my feet to get the camera further away so you can see more belly before you go. Whoa. I still have meals to put into this thing. Maybe I'll just post a picture of my big fat belly stuffed. All right, guys. Take care. Good to see you. All right. Thanks. Bye. He's got to get up. Where's my cameraman where I need him? All right, guys. Take care. And then I forgot how to stop it. There's a way to stop this. Oh, there it is. Bye.